All right, well, our reporter, Mariska Botha, is standing just outside the home of the former Apartheid president, that's FW de Klerk in Fresnaye, and we now go live to her. Very good afternoon to you, Mariska. I do understand that it has been quite calm and quite quiet outside the home of FW de Klerk, but, there have been signs, of course, that, there is something happening, that there is a death. We understand that earlier on, neighbors had come out, and some in fact were speaking to some of the reporters. I do understand there is quite a large contingent of reporters and media there, of course, at this time, and that there was a hearse-like vehicle that had arrived at the home earlier, and I also saw videos of, flowers arriving and things like that. Perhaps you can take us through, throughout the day, what's been happening there outside his home.
Well, with anything of this magnitude, we were busy with something else when we heard the news and was recalled from a story that we were on our way to and came immediately to here in Fresnaye, as you say, Flo. We arrived here and what we found here is a large contingent of media groups. We even have some media groups from around the globe. We had a reporter here from the Voice of America. We heard one reporter introducing himself saying he's from Brazil. We've got a reporter here from reporting for a French broadcast company. So there's quite a bit of interest in terms of the media. As far as people are, we haven't seen anyone arrive with flowers or bringing messages of condolences of anything like that. We did see a few people standing around behind the gates here behind me, coming in and out, and they just asked us a little bit earlier to move a little bit back to give space for whatever needs to happen. A van arrived with a bunch of flowers, but as far as people coming out to pay their respects or condolences or even bring flowers, we've seen nothing of that, and we've been here for quite some time. We do understand that other things were happening in South Africa as well today, the budget speech taking place. I was listening in when President Cyril Ramaphosa sent his condolences, speaking about former President FW de Klerk. And you also read a little bit of the message that was sent by the office of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. And I just want to add on a little bit to that, maybe pick up where you left off. Flo, you said that the former president occupied a historic but difficult space in South Africa. Then it goes on to say that he was one of the Nobel Peace Prize winners. And here I want to pick it up. And this was drafted by Dr. Rampele, and it's written here, although some South Africans found the global recognition of Mr. de Klerk hard to accept, Mr. Mandela himself praised him for his courage and in seeing the country's political transformation progress through. Now, we also heard that message from former President FW de Klerk himself. You played it, I listened in, and this pertains to that. After Mr. de Klerk appeared at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission before Archbishop Tutu, the Archbishop addressed the media to express disappointment that the former president had not made a more wholesome apology on behalf of the National Party to the nation for the evils of apartheid. But in more recent years, the Tutus and de Klerks developed closer relationships. And as I said, this was drafted by Dr. Rampele, the acting chairperson of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's trust. So all those words flowing one into the other, it's a time to reflect, I would think now, on the past of South Africa and where it's going. But as of now, as we hear, we see a lot of cars coming past. I don't know if it's simply residents living here or if it's curious onlookers aware that this was the now former home of the former president, just coming to have a look and see, or noticing us and maybe just wanting to have a look. But as of now, it's still quiet. We don't know what might happen later, but it's quiet at the de Klerk home at the moment. And we also heard from the FW de Klerk Foundation saying that the family is mourning, and right now there will be no statements that will be issued. And
in fact, that was going to be my next question, Mariska. We just heard from President Cyril Ramaphosa. Of course, no doubt he was listening in at the midterm budget speech, and of course one of our reporters brought him out just to have a comment, and of course he addressed the media on the passing of the last apartheid president, FW de Klerk, and he said that they will await to hear from the family with regards to the funeral process, and of course there's been conversation as I look at social media around whether or not there'll be a state funeral or whatever, or will the family rather ask for a private funeral? At some point, of course, the family will certainly come out and give a statement. What are you hearing at this time? I know you've said that there's nothing for now, but is there any talk about when we'd start to hear those kinds of conversations? Because no doubt funeral preparations would then have to start getting underway.
Yeah. I heard a little bit earlier from a contact that said within the next 48 hours there would be some information coming forward. Now, if it will come from the FW de Klerk Foundation itself, we don't know, or if it will be the family issuing a statement, we don't know. But I do think they understand the immensity of this and the interest that is in the passing of former President FW de Klerk. So certainly there will be something forthcoming. When is the big question right now. Also from the foundation we heard, and they said that the family is mourning right now. Former President de Klerk passed peacefully this morning at his home here in Fresnaye, and as the foundation said, right now the family is just taking those private few moments just to mourn the loss of their loved one. But we're expecting within the next day or two to have greater clarity on what might happen next.
All right, Mariska, let's leave it there for now, and certainly if we do get more information, we will touch base with you when you do receive more information for us. Thanks very much to you. That's Mariska Botha for us in the Western Cape at Fresnaye, just outside the home of FW de Klerk.